Hey fans, it's me, Aaron, for a comic show. I'm here with a stack of comics. I wasn't here last week because almost all of my boxes got delayed. And you know, I really can't blame Diamond for it, the distributor, because it was like adverse weather stuff from UPS. But for whatever reason, I hardly got any. I got like 3 boxes, so I couldn't do the video. I didn't have the books to read and review. However, I wanted to talk about 2 real fast. Howard the Duck #1, I freaking loved it. This is everything I wanted from Howard the Duck. It's Zdarsky from Sex Criminals, Quinones and art, and it's cool. It's him, Howard as a PI, which is neat, and he's trying to get She-Hulk to hire him, and it's kind of like Howard the Duck is Better Call Saul or something. But then it gives the movie fans, the bigger fans, what they want, which is also a big part of Howard the Duck, is that he's from a different dimension. He's from somewhere out there. He was basically George Lucas's E.T. for that movie. We all know how that turned out. But anyway, by the end of this issue, which has already been out for a week, so I really don't care about spoiling a point like this, he's already synced up with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is where we saw him in the movie. So it starts street level and sets up all that, and then he gets pulled into this wackiness because, of course, he's trapped in a world that he's grown accustomed to, is the tagline. And I loved it. I loved the cover for the next issue. I love that we're going to see Rock Raccoon and Howard together, that we didn't get that in the movie. So comics are great. That comic's great. I loved it. Moving on, Bill and Ted's Most Triumphant Return by Brian Lynch, whom I love his writing. This was fun, continuing right out of the movies, and I just enjoyed myself. And anyone that likes Bill and Ted will enjoy that. And if you have Netflix, you can watch Bill and Ted on Netflix for free if you pay or know someone that has a Netflix subscription that will give you their password or whatever. But boom, get that. And speaking of Bill and Ted, Chrononauts. All right, Chrononauts, it's kind of like, what if Bill and Ted actually made the time traveling stuff? Because these guys are kind of douchebags. I mean, they're kind of, it's Mark Millar writing it from Kick-Ass and all those other books kind of headed by douchebags. But what I like about this book is they're like Beetle and Booster. You know how much I love Beetle and Booster. And you have Ted Cord that's more the science guy that comes up with everything. And then you have the blonde guy. Of course, it's always the blonde guy that's a showboat and asshole, as the Booster Gold guy that just kind of screws things up in showboats and whatnot. But they both seem kind of jerky. But I really like it. I like how Mark Millar does this type of story where it's like it's a regular world, just like our own, and then this stuff starts happening. Then there's this one element where there's time travel all of a sudden. Awesome. Check it out. If you're a Mark Millar fan, do it. Red One, this, I have not heard of this writer before. I saw that he's done other stuff. He's from Paris, apparently. But it's the Dodsons on art, and it's Red One. And it supposedly, back in '09, they were working on the story about a Russian spy in America back before that was really cool in pop culture now. So yeah, I like The Americans, it's a great show. But the cool thing about this is the concept here, and it's on the back cover, just says it more succinctly than I was going to say it. What happens when America's greatest superhero is a Russian spy? That the Russians see that America loves superheroes. We just obsess over this. We still believe in fairy tales. And boom, what if that happened? And that's what this book is. So it's beautifully drawn. And if that does something for you, get it. I enjoy it. I'll be reading the next issue. Invisible Republic. It's a writer that's done stuff for Monkey Brain, won some awards, great art, and it's well in the future, like 28 something in the future, somewhere else, not a Earth, whatever, doesn't seem like it, and all this sci-fi stuff, but basically it's a political story. Basically the story is kind of like after Russia fell, after this regime falls and the people have nothing, what then? And it's sort of seems to be told from an investigative journalist or people that are in revolt, and it's just the first issue, so that's all it is. First issue, a whole lot of world building, a whole lot of cool stuff, but what I like and what I like most about sci-fi is when the sci-fi stuff does the political bend where we get to see stuff about our world and different nuances of our systems of structuring society through the lens of this far off, far away thing. And that tickles my sci-fi bone. Manhattan Projects. This is a first issue, but it's a continuation of that long-running Manhattan Projects by Hickman that it's probably like 6 volumes by now. I'm reading it. I'm loving it. One thing I really love is Yuri and his dog, and you get that here. Now, can you read this without reading the other stuff? I would say I wouldn't suggest it. I would suggest read the other stuff first. You could. But if you're reading the other stuff and you just stopped reading it because that Space Dog wasn't in it anymore, well, Space Dog is here, I promise. Get it. You won't be disappointed. Outcast Kirkman, it's the first issue after the collection. If you got the collection for $10, seriously jump on and get this because it's good. I enjoy it. And if you're getting an HP issue, you'll pick it up anyway. Moving on to Deadly Class, Volume 2 is out. I can't say enough about this book. This is my favorite book by Rick Remender, and if you've already got Volume 1, you're going to get Volume 2 because it's just that good. And if you haven't got Volume 1, you're not going to get Volume 2. But get Volume 1. It's $10, and it's these assassin kids from all different types of mafia or different groups that need assassins. And the kids are being trained to be assassins. So it's kind of like where Harry Potter is a school for magic. This is a school for kids to be trained to kill. And I enjoy it. And Bob's Burgers, just finishing out the non-Marvel DC stuff. It's awesome. It's Bob's Burgers. If you love Bob's Burgers, you should get it. It has people from the creative people from the show on the book. And I love that show. Moving on to Marvel, Star Wars, Princess Leia, #2. More of that same dynamic. I had some people complain that it just seems like some sorority girl thing with the two, and I'm like, seriously, if it was 2 dudes, you would just be like, oh, I'm enjoying this bromance. So, I liked the first issue. I really liked how it was adding a lot more nuance to Princess Leia. Why did she continue to put herself in harm's way after that first movie, after A New Hope? Why was she still on the front lines for Empire and going to Endor for Jedi when she is a freaking princess? And also, why didn't she show that much emotion after her parents were killed, her whole world was killed, everything's blown up and whatnot, and she's just there at the end just like, here I am giving them awards and medals, but not one to Chewie, and smile, smile, credits roll. You would think she'd be a little bit more devastated and not such an ice princess, but apparently she let it go. So anyway, this is that story. This is that story that I've wanted for a long time, and Wade's telling it. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, it's getting so crazy. Squirrel Girl versus Galactus. Basically just go big or don't do a Squirrel Girl book, because she's already beat Thanos, so Galactus is next. Galactus is here. Silk, issue 2 is out, and this book doesn't get the hype that Spider-Gwen does, and probably deservedly so, because Spider-Gwen is like Gwen Stacy on an alternative world in a band called the Mary Janes, and Matt Murdock is the Kingpin's lawyer. There's all kinds of like wacky, crazy, fun stuff about this. This is in the regular world, spinning out of Spider-Verse, spinning out of Dan Slott's story with her that she was bitten by the spider at the same time as Peter was, and just like kept in a basement for a decade or whatnot. So now she's out, she's trying to put her life together, and it's fun. It's fun, and it's in the 616 regular Marvel universe, not some alternate world. And finally for Marvel, Miss Marvel, Generation Y. You know this book, you know all the hype it's gotten, you've known that it's lived up to the hype. It's a fan favorite book, and I am very pleased with Marvel for both doing it and continuing it and pushing comics forward. Moving on to DC, Superman, this is the Harley Quinn cover. Superman has this new solar power of flare. Like he just went like supernova, solar flare, and he can just make it like, Super Saiyan Goku craziness, and it blinds you for 2 pages, and then he has no powers for a day. So this is his day without powers. And having said that, I said it in a way that sounds like I'm being sarcastic or cynical or like, ooh, he has a new power, wow, he can, but to get an issue of Superman with no powers, it was a really good issue. It was him and Jimmy Olsen, and Clark still being Superman without the powers, and the powers don't make the man, and that's what you got in this 120-page issue, and I really enjoyed it. So moving on, it's Jeff Johns, so obviously. But Batgirl, we got 2 Batgirl issues, 2 different Batgirl issues. This is not just variant covers this week. This is a variant cover, and you can see like it's Cliff Chiang doing his Purple Rain cover, amazing. And I am loving this Batgirl story now that Oracle's there, and Oracle, from the cliffhanger of last issue, was like, you're not Batgirl, I'm Barbara, blah, blah, blah. And what was the thing with her being able to walk again, which we got in Secret Origin, which I'm not going to spoil since that sold out instantly and the second print's not out yet for some people. But this was a continuation of that crazy cliffhanger, and I freaking love this book. And in-game is the same creative, same writer, and it's her taking on what's going on in-game with Joker as taking over Gotham and all that craziness. You get this Batgirl of Burnside here doing stuff. And if you're reading Batgirl, you'll want that. And one thing, I don't know if you guys saw, but the June cover with Joker finally just got like recalled, like changed the cover. We don't know what the new cover is. Finally, the creative team asked DC to not do that cover. I kind of see here where they have her in the Burnside outfit when Cliff Chiang originally had a classic Batgirl. And I get what they're doing of Joker and Batgirl. If I ask 10 people what's the most iconic Joker-Batgirl interaction or storyline, all 10 people are going to say Killing Joke. And the cover was an homage to Killing Joke. Unfortunately, where it went off message and kind of screwed things up is putting on her motorcycle here in the Burnside thing is okay. Like, it still fits. Like, would Batgirl of Burnside with this progressive, forward-moving, very social justice type Batgirl, would she pose in a homage to Purple Rain? Yes, she would. That's fun. That's cool. That's retro. Having her in that costume, in that highly victimized positioning with Joker, I do get it. Now, if it was the classic costume, I would be more like, hey, it's just recognizing this very iconic classic story. Cool. People could still not want it, not like it, say, we don't like this, we've made a lot of progress, blah, 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 and I can agree with that. But putting her in this new costume, in this new thing, in this highly victimized way, when the whole point of this new thing for Batgirl is empowerment, is off message. It's totally off message. And I'm glad the creative team asked to have that removed and whatnot, even though it was a cool cover, you know, like, and even though Killing Joke is like the most iconic Joker Batgirl thing, but, you know, I can stand behind the decision. I'm really wondering what the new Joker variant is going to be for June, how they're going to do that. Whether it's like Batgirl having Joker tied up or something, maybe, you know, that'll work. But yay. I'm really not that big on the fence one side or the other with that, but I really do freaking love this cover, and I'm glad that DC did what the creators wanted, which is, you know, not every day for DC. Anytime DC is doing something at the request of a creator is a good day for DC. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.